Hello, my name is Dr. Puzzler, and today we are I figured I would do thought it'd be cool to do a series of my creative process from start to finish making levels and areas in my games, right? So figure this will be probably like a series. This is gonna be part one. As you can see here, I'm not on my computer now. I have a couple pieces of paper, physical. And this is where I plan out my games. Right, I don't do any of that really on uh, digitally. I start out with a piece of pencil, a piece of paper, and a pencil. So we have a couple things here, right? First thing we have here is this paper, which has just some ideas of areas I want to explore in the game I'm currently working on, The Great Deer, which you can wishlist now on Steam if you would like. So what I'm in the game, there is a bunch of stained glass windows that at some point you are able to travel into to solve mini rooms, mini puzzles of sorts. And so I have on my list here. I've planned out a whole bunch of these. Right, you can see I have a check mark for the ones that I've chosen I want to do, and then the ones with like an extra line through those are ones I've already planned. So I figured for today I would do the pass. So let's just get started on that. So we have a blank piece of paper here. So when I plan out my games, I kind of just make like a little bit too long. Make just rectangles on a piece of paper. Just as like different like camera angles and screens for the player to look through. Just an easy way to keep my planning organized. Usually I can fit 4 to 5 on a single one of these lines. I have a line in the middle just because I don't need so I can fit more, and because I don't really need the entire paper space for these frames. So we'll just kind of start out by illustrating what we want this to look like. This is really where I start out whenever I'm making stuff, is I just kind of start out with like, what should this look like, right? And kind of build from there. Rarely ever do I like start with like a puzzle, like an actual idea for a puzzle necessarily, and then work around that. But it's more of like, okay, what does this look like? What does this area look like? And then kind of build from there, build puzzles based off of the area, not the other way around. Yeah, something like that. So we'll have a couple of like little caves that the player can go into, and then over here we have like a gate. This stuff here I kind of figured out pretty quickly. I kind of already knew what I wanted to do there. That's not normally how quickly I am able to come up with ideas. Puzzles, oftentimes I have a lot of like writer's block of sorts, right? Where like I just don't know what to do, don't know where to go. And oftentimes if I don't know where to go with something, I'll either try and push through or I'll take a break. And a lot of people on the point and click Discord, which you should totally join, by the way. If you're interested in making games, point and click games, or seeing how point and click games are made. A lot of people on there say like, "Oh, you're so good at making puzzles," to me, and I don't really find that to be true. I would say that I'm not great at coming up with puzzles easily. I can come up with good puzzles, I think, but it takes a lot of time and effort. It's not just something like that comes out of my brain constantly. I'm not always thinking of the best puzzles, and honestly, sometimes puzzles I come up with are kind of garbage. But But every now and then I get some stuff that's just really great, and sometimes I get some stuff that's really poor, and that's kind of how everything is, right? You're not always going to come up with the best ideas, and you're not always going to get. Sometimes you'll get awful ideas, sometimes you'll get great ideas, and um, try just sticking with it, trying to do your best to filter out the bad, but recognizing that you don't. Not everything has to be perfect. Um, Not everything has to be the ultimate puzzle, right? That's never going to happen. You're not going. Not every puzzle you're going to make, not any puzzle that anyone's going to make is going to be amazing. I mean, like, even in the best of puzzle games, like Rusty Lake games or The Room, or more classic examples like Monkey Island, like there's some garbage puzzles and stuff like that. Like you look at Myst, a game that's like praised as being one of the best adventure games. Like no one likes the maze puzzle in Selenitic Age. It's a completely garbage puzzle, but but like but it's in a game that's been praised as being a great game, and so it's just like kind of like you're not always going to come up with the best puzzles. You're not always going to come up with the worst puzzles. It's just kind of trying to strike as much of a balance between the two as possible, trying to get as many of the good out as you can, trying to filter out the bad. And if you see a bad puzzle and you feel like it should be changed, that's okay, right? Like if you feel like a puzzle is detrimental to the gameplay, there's no shame in saying, you know what, I'm just going to take that out because I don't want that in there. Even if you've already programmed it, like um, there have been times where I have had to just kind of told myself like, yeah, this puzzle is a bit garbage. I'm gonna just have to take it out completely, and that's okay, right? Of course, in the planning phase, which is where we are now, it's best to try and filter that out as much as possible so you don't, so that you're doing less work, right? You obviously don't want, whenever possible, to filter out a bad, you want to filter out bad puzzles earlier on rather than later to save yourself that work. But sometimes it's not possible, and that's okay, right? Um, yeah. Okay, so what I'm thinking here is we'll have like a combination lock somewhere in here, and you have to, and but like the combination is like split up in like to two pieces. Yeah. So maybe in here we can have like a little like, it'll be like two there'll be like two shelves here, right? And on one of them kind of like post it up like a half of like a paper, right? And we'll just kind of illustrate that a little bit bigger here. Boom. So we have our two pieces of paper. 1894. Spoiler warning, obviously. And that's nice. Actually, I kind of wanted that to be the code. I like that number. Um, Maybe I'll explain why later. That's a tease. In the next video, I will tell you why 1894 is one of my favorite numbers. Okay, so now that we've got that there, so we have our first piece of paper here, and maybe we have like a little like wrench or something, like some sort of like a handle. I'm kind of feeling like a physics puzzle right now. Let's make a physics puzzle. So we'll get the wrench, right? We'll have like our physics puzzle right over here. So here's my idea. So over here with this, we'll have our physics puzzle, right? And right here, we'll have like a spot for our wrench, right? So we gotta use our wrench there. And that'll be connected to like this little like lever thingy. And so that'll kind of like rotate like up and down, and we'll have like a ball in here. And what we'll say is like you have to get the ball. Maybe it's just kind of like you've got like a little like entrance here, and but you've got like there's a twist because you've got like another, and that's kind of like blocking your way. So you've got to like get it like up here, but you've also got to get it past there maybe. And I'll kind of mess around with that during making the game, right? So what we've got here now, yeah. So first things first, you've got to, and actually let's make our safe like here. And I'm thinking just like a very simple thing here, right? Just kind of, and you've got to like line them up, right? So yeah, just something very simple. Just kind of got to rotate them so that way they line up. I like that. So it opens that up. You get half the code. Now, when you get the ball into here, into there, it'll like fall down into this thing, which would be like a weighted thing, right? So have like kind of like a rope there. And when it falls into that, like go down a bit. And then what we'll have here is we will have a thing that affects. And so when you make it go down, that like open up to reveal the other half of the paper. And then, so then you'll have the code, right? And you'll get that to get like another ball and to put it back in here, and you'll have to do it again. And once that's done, the key will be in there and you'll use that to get past there. And then once you're past there, I'm thinking we'll just kind of have like so have kind of like a cliff here, right? And we'll have like a scenic view maybe. Just like, no, that would look nice, especially with like blue. Yeah, let's keep it. It will look really nice with all the post-processing and stuff like that. It's just going to be a little bit of work to try and get that. All right, so we have like our mountain edge there. And we can kind of like, there's kind of like a path that goes out there, right? But then we've kind of got like some mountains in the background, like the sun. And then go down the path to, yeah, and then we'll end up like over here, like at like a table, right? So we'll have kind of like a table of sorts. And on top of the table is our artifact that we'll need to get. And boom. So boom, that is a level finished with planning. Hope you liked this part 1. Join me for part 2 as we begin to make the graphics for this in Adobe Illustrator. But until then, we'll see you. Bye.